From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight.
Hello and welcome. I am Olukolade Macaulay. Tonight, former military president Ibrahim Babangida urges Nigerians to rally around President Jonathan in tackling the nation's challenges. The military clarifies delay in ending insurgency in the northeast. Defense spokesman says rescue of Chibok girls remains a priority. And Nigeria's economy is in focus as we continue our review of major events of 2015. And the war of words continue as North Korea condemns President Obama over the release of a film about a fictional plot to kill Kim Jong-un.
In our business news tonight, analysts identify inadequate infrastructure as the major reason for the slow growth experienced in courier business in Nigeria.
And in sports news, despite a poor start in the English Premier League, Liverpool manager Brendan Rodgers is confident of a top 4 finish.
Thank you for joining us. Former military President General Ibrahim Babangida has asked Nigerians to support President Goodluck Jonathan to make Nigeria survive as a united nation. General Babangida was speaking during a courtesy visit by President Jonathan to his country home in Minna, Niger State, in the spirit of the season. The president, on his part, described General Babangida as a national leader whose counsel is very much needed, especially now that the country is passing through challenges, particularly concerning insecurity.
This is the end of the year. New Year is tomorrow. And within this period, people will pay visits. So first, I come to visit him. Of course, you know, he just came back from hospital abroad not too long ago. And since he came back, we've not seen. And I need to see my father for that, to know how he's feeling. And I'm quite pleased with the way I've seen him. First, of course, we all know that as a nation, we're facing a lot of challenges, security challenges all over, not just the north. Yes, Boko Haram in the north, the south is not safe, commercial kidnapping and robbery. And it's one of our experienced leaders. So as somebody who is sitting where he was before, you need to see them from time to time to listen to their suggestion. So that's one of the areas how we will collectively move the country forward.
The president means well for this country and is working well for this country. And anybody who means well for this country should support the president to make sure that Nigeria survives as a united country.
Former military head of state Ibrahim Babangida and President Goodluck Jonathan of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the military has been explaining the reasons behind the seeming delay in bringing an end to the ongoing insurgency in the northeastern part of the country. The Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, told Channels Television in an interview that the security forces are operating within the operational limits of conventional warfare. Major General Olukolade also gave the assurance that the rescue of the Chibok girls remains a key part of their mission.
The military has come under tremendous pressure in recent times, not only from the militants in the country's northeast, but also from ordinary Nigerians, most of whom feel the insurgents under normal circumstance are no match for the nation's armed forces. The criticisms border on the seeming lack of capacity on the part of the security forces to flush the terrorists from the territories under their control and end the menace once and for all. But the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, explains the principles guiding the operations by the security forces.
The vision of the Nigerian soldier is based purely, first of all, on patriotism and service to fatherland. In that case, the motivation here will be different from somebody who is being driven by suicide instinct people who really believe that they're just there to die for whatever ideology they're holding on to. And the implication of this is that whatever is motivating us is parallel, is different. We will keep working for our country and protecting our people from those characters that seem to be driven purely by suicide.
He also throws light on the controversy over the state of equipment used in prosecuting the war, saying not all weapons are deployed for every military operation.
Who has superior weapons or not is another issue. This is the conventional army that has to fight conventionally. There are weapons that are to be deployed at personal level. There are weapons that can only be deployed at platoon, company, battalion, and so on levels. The efforts are on to ensure that these weapons are available and working. Yes, at a point they may not be enough because there is wear and tear. Once the battle ongoing, there will be expendables, there will be weapons that will stop working, and on and on. The effort will then be to replace and to improve on the stock. That is where the effort at the moment is being concentrated. We can assure you that we are making good improvement.
On the burning issue of the rescue of the Chibok girls, the defense spokesman says the military hasn't given up on the mission.
The much I can assure you is that we're willing and working towards ensuring that this situation is addressed and we get the girls back as quickly as possible. We remain optimistic, as most Nigerians are optimistic, and that has been what is driving every operation in that connection. So putting specific time, I'm not in a position to give you a timing now. The much I can say is that all the efforts are geared towards addressing it within the shortest possible time. Nobody is happy to have them out there in the difficult conditions that they must be undergoing by now.
From all indications, what the security forces need at this crucial time is the support of all Nigerians to prosecute this war successfully, rather than attempts to weaken their resolve to accomplish their mission.
In other news, 18-year-old Chukwujeku Oranezi from Orumba South local government area of Anambra State has been arrested in the suspected murder of his benefactor and stealing 500,000 naira from the victim. Lining up the murder suspect alongside 11 others at the headquarters of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Hassan Karma, warned the youth who engage in criminal activity that they will be made to face the full wrath of the law.
I killed him because of his money.
This 18-year-old murder suspect makes a chilling confession on how he killed his benefactor in cold blood. Chukwujeku Oranezi demonstrates the ugly incident carried out with a pestle.
When he was walking, I'll now use this thing. I beat him from this.
According to the suspect, the victim did nothing wrong, but he, Chukwujeku, was overwhelmed by the desire to have enough to spend during the holidays.
I killed him because of his money. I want to take his money for this December time, and I wanted to use the money for this December. Secondly, I want to use the money to buy some instrument that I will use to work in this welder when I finished. So that is why I killed him. Anwa is innocent. Anwa did not do me anything wrong.
4 kidnapped suspects, the mother of a kidnapped victim and a gang of armed robbers will have been on the police wanted list for some time.
This witnessed one of the best Xmas celebration we have had in this state in recent times. And God in his infinite mercy too wanted to prove a point when these hoodlums wanted to spoil the day for us in the evening. This is the result of what God had exposed them. And we are calling on other young men who are contemplating going into criminality that they should desist, because the long arms of the law will catch up with them.
In a related development, officers of the Navy arrested a suspected oil thief with 13 drums of adulterated AGO. The naval officers seem to have their hands full, as they also impounded 150 kg of a substance suspected to be marijuana. The trafficker has been handed over to the men of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
We are alerted by members of the civil defense of some activities happening around the construction site of the Second Niger Bridge. And as expected, we moved in immediately to find out what was happening. And on sighting our men, most of them quickly jumped into the speedboat that was very close by and escaped. They had loaded 13 drums of adulterated AGO into the drum and loaded it into a Ford bus.
All arrests were made in the security agency's resolve to ensure a crime-free society during the Yuletide and well into the new year.
The federal government has denied the claim by the Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole that $30 billion is missing from the excess crude oil account. Describing the allegation as shocking and totally untrue, the Finance Ministry said Governor Oshomole's allegation is an attempt to politicize the management of the economy on the basis of half-truths and distortions. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor on Communication to the Minister of Finance, Paul Nwapuku, the ministry explained that there is no $30 billion missing from the excess crude account as alleged by Governor Oshomole. We do not share Governor Oshomole's overly bleak view of the country's economic prospects. Governor Oshomole had on Thursday alleged that the federal government has failed to account for about $30 billion that it had accrued to the excess account in the last 3 years. In part 2, after the break, as the prices of crude oil continue its downward movement, can Nigeria's solid minerals bail the economy? Find out when we return. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.